So I have a story for you today. This is a Bible story, and the powerful message of this story is exactly the message that we talked about yesterday, that the most powerful force in our personal growth and in our relationships, friends, family, and Hashem himself is the ability to experience authentically our own emotions. As a matter of fact, the Yetzer Hara's favorite trick is to keep us so stuck in our minds, so busy, so distracted, so scared that we can't feel. There are so many things that stop us from feeling. Many of us are just too scared of emotions, too distracted, so busy. And the Ramchal tells us that there's a villain, a big famous villain in the Torah, a bad guy, that knew this trick also. His name was Paro. And he said, we're just going to keep the Jews so busy that they won't even think of escaping, they won't think of praying to God. And you see this really, really powerfully in the pasuk itself. This is in Shmos Perek Beis, pasuk Chav Gimel. Vayihi bayomim harab mahem, and it was in those many days. Vayamos Melech Mitzrayim, the king of Egypt, died. Vayeonchu b'nei Yisrael min ha'avoda, and the Jewish people groaned from the slavery, from the hard work. Vayizaku, and they cried out to God. Vatal shavasam el ha'alekim min ha'avoda, and perhaps in one of the most pivotal moments of Jewish history, their prayer rose to God. And that's when everything started to change. But there's a bunch of questions in this pasuk. First of all, why did they only groan from their hard work when Paro died? The hundreds of years of suffering. No groaning? Second of all, why does the pasuk say that Vatal shavasam el holakim min ha'avoda? Their prayer rose to God from the work. And there's a very, very powerful message here. The answer is, this was Paro's evil, brilliant, diabolical plot. I'm going to keep these Jews so busy, so tortured. They won't even feel their own pain. They didn't even groan because they couldn't. They had no headspace, no time, no room anywhere in their emotions, even to groan from their own pain. You know, we've all experienced this on a smaller level, of course, in our own lives. Did you ever go shopping and have too many packages and you got to schlep them even just from the car to your house or wherever it is, if you've got to carry it a few blocks, and the bags start to cut into your fingers? It's very heavy. You got bottles in there or something, you know? So what do? You shift it to the other knuckle, you start shifting the bags over, and then that starts to hurt because you got a long way to walk. Until like every part of your fingers are red. It's like a bloody mess, and you're just killing. Finally, you get up those stairs, you open the door, you kick it open, throw the bags down. And that's when it starts to hurt. You know that moment when you let go of the bag, it's like, oh man, that kills. So we've all experienced this in a smaller level, but that's what was going on. When Paro died, they had a break from their work. And when they had a second to stop working, they were like, oh, it just kills. And that groan, Rav Pinkus tells us that a groan can also be a prayer. If, of course, you direct it to Hashem. But there was another prayer there. Vayeonchu, they groaned, and Vayizaku, they cried out. And what's fascinating is that the pasuk tells us that Hashem heard the first prayer, the groan. What does it say? Once again in the pasuk right here. Vatal shavasam el holakim min ha'avoda. Yeah, that groan from the work is the one that Hashem listened to. Why? Vayizaku would seem to be a more sophisticated prayer. You're crying out to God. You have some degree of intent. But a groan is just a physical expression. Yeah, but that's just it. Because a visceral, physical, powerful expression is so authentic, is so real. That is when we're actually accessing the deepest parts of ourselves, our neshama. And that's a powerful prayer. That's how we escape everything. And guess what happens next? The next pasuk, after Hashem hears this groan, listen to this. Vayishma Elokim esna akasam. Hashem heard their crying out, their groaning. Vayizkar Elokim es briso, es Avraham, es Yitzchak, es Yaakov. Vayar Elokim es bnei Yisrael, vayed Elokim. Suddenly, we've gone from the pits of Egypt, from the lowest place in the world. We had one experience, a real emotion. And Hashem remembers the Avos HaKadoshim. Suddenly we're back in the pinnacle of our greatness. Suddenly these are not just Jews who are suffering. These are the children, these are princes. That's when everything starts to change. And as we explained in our last video, that is why Chazal want us to be busy with the Beis HaMikdash as we start to attempt Teshuvah. Because Chazal know that all along, the whole Elul, every time you start to accomplish anything, the Yetzer Hara is going to pop up on your shoulder and say, you? You're going to do Teshuvah? You faker? Loser? Hypocrite? Liar? You can't do tshuva. And they'll give you a picture. You remember you did this? That. Who needs you? Get out of here. You want to make God's courtyard dirty and smelly? He doesn't want you. How are we going to escape that? Because you know what? It's kind of true. How are we going to get out of that? There is no logical answer. The escape is through feeling the visceral sense of sadness. Allow it to make you sad. Cry about it. Cry about the broken. Cry about your own broken temple. We all have a broken Beis HaMikdash. Cry, and while you're feeling real, authentic sadness, your mind cannot enter that space. And when you're feeling that authentic emotion, of course, after you process that, then hope of your neshama will start to shine through. And then we'll hear the words of the pasuk of the Nabi. Let me read that to you. This is the Haftarah of Parshas Eikev. V'taymer Tzion azavani Hashem. And Tzion said, God has forsaken me. V'Hashem shechechani. Hashem has forgotten me. And if you're feeling that sadness, you know what else you can feel? When you hear this. Hatishkach isha ula merachem ben pitna. Hashem responds. Does a woman forget her own child? You know what? Gam eila tishkach neva anochi lo yeshkachech. They'll forget before I forget you. Hashem says, this is forever. This is eternal. And then we say in the next week's Haftarah, listen to this. Aniya sayara loy nuchama. Klal Yisrael is poverty. We're destitute. We have nothing. We're sayara. We've got this storm. There's a storm inside us. Lo nuchama. We cannot be comforted. And it's important not to be comforted. That's our avodah, all of Elul, till Rosh Hashanah. Allow ourselves to be sad and not comforted because we're broken. Hashem says, Hine anochi marbitz bapuch avanayach v'saratich b'sapirim. It says, you're going to be so gorgeous. I'm going to gild the streets of Yerushalayim with diamonds and with precious gems. So join us in the Spiritual You Seminar. Send your email to thetorahcenter@gmail.com because our chabura, we're training ourselves not to just beat ourselves up, but to feel the authentic emotions that we need to have, to open ourselves up to the true power of our neshama and our desire to return to Kadosh Baruch Hu, and that will bring us, Me'ez Hashem, all the way to Rosh Hashanah.